Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the
Hey,
of All About the Arts. Hey, Joe. Hey, Tom.
hi,
David, how are
David.
you?
How you
Dave,
doing?
Fantastic.
thanks,
Here we
Joe.
are.
Greetings. We failed to put on our theme song today.
Oh, shoot.
Ah, that's okay.
We're a little out of
That's okay.
practice. That's
That's
all right.
true.
Next
We're
It's
time.
a
getting
new
a
year. We're still
yeah,
working
yeah.
out the kinks.
Still working things out. That's
Next
right.
time. Next time. How are y'all doing? Love that background, Joe.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm expanding my gear, so I bought one of those green screens, and yeah, it's it. Yeah, I look uptown. I wish I had
Oh,
this
you
wall in
do.
my house.
And you're becoming a hard act to follow. I'm going to have to up my game a little bit.
So a lucrative profession now in big news areas, New York, L.A., Washington, is setting up the background for pundits. You know, like the news anchor is in the studio, but many of the pundits are in their homes. So
Yes.
their backgrounds, you'd think, well, yeah, this is just my bookcase. And I'm saying, no, oh
Good.
no, that's all. They pay big money to have that look perfect. And I thought, Joe, that maybe one of those people had come to your house,
Yeah,
for
I
one of the
wish.
big news services and said, let's set up this background for you. It just
Hey,
felt,
that's an
I,
idea.
yeah, looks really
I
good.
Thank you. I'm enjoying it, and all the children and families who follow me on Sideshow Joe Show are gonna enjoy it as well because it is gonna open up our. When I sing Old MacDonald, I can sing it sitting next to a cow.
All right.
You can't beat that.
Can't wait.
So,
Can't wait.
Yeah.
We'll talk
So
about art and culture and weird art news, Tom. What do you got for us this week?
I've got kind of a brief weird art news this week, but it's always a pleasure to have Pam on our show. She's been on our show before, and she's a delight, and she's an artist. And so I thought I'd turn to the world of art to come up with the weird news this week. And I just wanted to revisit that period in the arts when Andy Warhol initially showed his soup can drawings to the world. The gallery owner, this is the Fergus Gallery in New York, and the gallery owner was Irvin Blum, although it could be Irvin Bloom. Thank you, Alex, for the graphics. I don't know if it rhymes with plum or with broom, but anyway, Irving, he owned the Fergus Gallery and he displayed the Campbell soup cans, all 32 varieties, from tomato, obviously, to pepper pot. Has anybody had pepper pot soup from
No,
Campbell? I
no,
never.
wasn't familiar with pepper pot. To, of course, cream of well, just the celery or whatever, the normal shells, and they were displayed on thin shelves along the walls of the gallery to duplicate the effects of a grocery store. And so Warhol was desperate to leave his advertising job on Madison Avenue, which itself kind of conjures up an image of Andy Warhol before he was Andy Warhol, was hanging around the water cooler on Madison Avenue, coming up with ideas with the boys, or else talking about the big game, Sunday's big game yesterday. Somehow he moved away from that. I don't
Wow.
know, but he was certain, and so was Irving Blum certain, or I'm not certain if it was Blum or Bloom, but Blum or Bloom and Warhol were certain that they had a hit, and in effect they did, but not immediately. Um, and so I wanted to kind of go back and see, eventually, obviously, we all know him, but immediately I wanted to go back and see what the critics at the time thought. Um, and and they didn't think too much. There was a lot of negative feedback. Um, and he, the Los Angeles Times, in fact, one of their critics called Warhol a soft-headed fool or a hard-headed charlatan. And I noticed that was one of the kinder
Oh,
critiques.
ouch.
And the Los Angeles Times also ran a cartoon that lampooned the paintings and their supposed viewers. So in this cartoon, one critic tells another, frankly, the cream of asparagus does nothing for me, but the terrifying intensity of the chicken noodle soup gives me a real Zen feeling. An art dealer down the street from the Fergus Gallery was even more biting. He arranged real cans of Campbell soup in his windows, along with a sign that read, "Do not be misled. Get the original. Our low price, two for 33 cents."
Uh,
Andy Warhol is considered a great artist, although many critics thought he was a smartass. They said what he drew was poop, cans of chicken noodle soup, but the public kind of liked the stuff regardless. But critics thought the soup can stuff was awful. What'll he paint next? A pecan waffle? Those sales went through the roof. Critics said that it was proof that terrible art like this should be unlawful. Now Warhol's dead and gone, the soup cans live on. It seems no stranger now than any other. Art collectors fill their walls and museums fill their halls with soup cans hanging next to Whistler's mother.
All right.
Weird news.
Bravo,
In
Tom.
the world of
I've
art.
missed that. I really
Andy would approve. I think Andy would approve. What a fascinating career for the boy from Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, worked his way up to being shot in the chest. Actually,
Oh.
his final scene. In the
Do you remember his original name? What was his
yeah,
given birth name?
yeah,
Oh, shoot.
I just was reading it yesterday, but
Alex will look it up and pop it
yeah,
up on the
yeah,
screen for us.
yeah,
But yeah, fascinating career. So help me just with one little piece, Tom. So he created the display in the gallery from which the paintings came, or were they two separate issues?
No, he painted them.
He did
Andrew
both?
Warhol, David, Alex.
Warhol.
Just thank you, Alex. Warhol.
Yeah, I would knock
There it
the A off myself. I would just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was really that. I didn't remember it being that close. So very close to Warhol.
Yeah, he
So
painted things, and then he presented his portfolio to Bloom, and he said, "Yeah, this is how we'll set it up." Bring
Okay.
and they were fairly narrow shelves, so these weren't huge, as huge as you might think. So the whole 32 display,
Yeah.
some of the prints became bigger, but they were all shelved. They were shelved like a grocery store. So
Well, the uniformity was part of the appeal.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that it?
Yeah.
yeah, and of course Warhol's paint was this is the visual imagery that we're bombarded with all the time. These are the
Right,
colors,
especially
and
the
forms,
chicken noodle soup.
and the shapes and form and function. Is we also eat the stuff and clothes, but it was just a concept that was not real popular at the time. It's like
Yes. Well, and then that begat the Spam can. That was another iconic piece, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it became kind of life following art insofar as then Madison Avenue, which was just trying to put something that looked good, but then now it became kind of like, especially into the 60s and 70s, all this kind of pop art and stuff on cans and labels and things, and some of the Liechtenstein kind of drawings and
Sure.
things, and you'd see those on various products, some of which are not coming to mind right now. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like first we'll kind of take the standard packaging of a piece of a can of soup, and we'll make that art. Now, the people who make the product art are now trying to get artsier and artsier, so it's harder to lampoon the artsier stuff with avant-garde art. So it was just kind of Warhol's box in a box in a box kind of approach to his perception of reality. It was just, this is art, but no, it's not art. But yes, it is art because you see it all the time, so that must be art. But no, it's not art. It's that crazy stuff that goes on in his head came out in his drawings. So
Yeah.
But
Love it. Important
we've got
guy.
an art expert coming on the show, so it's time
We do. And may I just say briefly before we bring on special guest Pam Novak, we were scheduled to have our friend Tony Kurlan come on. Tony, many of you know, has been I call him a kind of a culture activist. He's involved with the acting company and the Sutter County Museum and the Yuba City Senior Center, and I know a bunch of other organizations. And he came down with some illness this last week and asked if he could be rescheduled. And I said, of course, get better. It's not COVID related. He's doing fine, but it wasn't a good day for him. So really appreciate Pam coming on, who we wanted to get back on the show anyway to talk about some exciting new things. So Pam Novak, come on out of the green room, and there she is.
There she is.
Well, hi. It's so great to be here. How you doing?
Great to have
Right.
you back, Pam.
Great
Thank
to
you.
see
Thank
you.
you.
Great to
I've
see
been
you.
looking
Welcome
forward
back.
to this.
Yeah, I know. We enjoy these times. It's special in the time of COVID or any time really. So where do we start? I've got pages of notes. What do you think, Pam? You know what we're doing. Where do you want to start?
Tom, thank you for that homage in musical, historical, and humorously arranged. A little bit of art news there. Thanks. That was fun.
You're more than welcome, Pam.
Do you
It's my
teach Andy
pleasure.
Warhol in any of your classes?
I have definitely because it
Yeah.
is so graphic, and and then he did all the celebrities.
Yeah.
There's tons and tons, everything from Elvis to Marilyn Monroe and such.
Marilyn's the one I was thinking of while Tom was singing and talking about Andy Warhol. Yeah, that's the one I know. Yeah.
It just occurred to me now. We did a weird news about the banana art, the guy that nailed the banana to the white backdrop and sold it for $200,000. Think back to the first Lou Reed and the Velvet Underground album.
Yeah.
Yep.
White background banana. It just occurred to me that was a stolen idea.
Mhm.
And he got there.
They
40
didn't
years
use
ago.
duct tape. That was the difference. They didn't
Oh,
use
okay.
the duct tape.
It was the duct tape that made this
Yep.
unique.
Yes.
Yep, that made it artistic on another level.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, let's go back to Pam here.
Hey,
We could talk on and on about all kinds of strange and bizarre things in art because that's its cachet, I guess you could say. Well, let's start first with Art Fix because that's my big news. I have been creating art and sort of dabbling, and I guess we'll show that and talk about that. But first, the YubaSutterArts&Culture organization has started up a new event, and I'm kind of pioneering it, but working with some amazing people like Lila Rivera, and we've got Alex involved in this, Abby and Shantae, and I believe that it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're taking the Zoom format, but we're mixing it up so that if you look at a Zoom screen or any type of online meeting, you're going to see so many faces that they look about like as big as a postage stamp. And so we're utilizing the breakout room concept to put people into smaller groups. And then as you're sitting back in your smaller group of maybe 4 or 5 people, special guests will rotate through and come visit you with an interactive event. We will have art displays and demonstrations. We'll have a mixology class. We're doing dance
who's
lessons.
leading mixology, Pam?
That would be me.
Oh,
Whoa.
hey.
Absolutely. In fact, I'll tell you about ours. And so what's kind of fun about this is that they are themed party events that are, we change it up, we mix it up. We have your fix of art for the month. And I think it's a lot of fun. And this is kind of evolved around going to many different kind of online events. You can find them here and there, everything from how to roast coffee and cook bagels to decorate and paint and all kinds of things have gone online. And I've sampled quite a few of them, but I've never had one that put you in a different room and then brought people around. Like you're in an art gallery and you go from gallery to gallery or place to place.
Well, and part of the inspiration, wasn't it the art mix program that the Crockett has done for years?
I know. Well, sort of the backstory was that we were all reminiscing about how that was so great a year ago that we got to do this or we got to go to that. And they always had such fun themes, everything from Burning Man to
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, right. All kinds of stuff. Right. They had the Mardi Gras one was fun.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. And because there's such a huge facility, they can have thousands of people there and break them up into auditoriums, galleries, courtyards, the ballroom at the original Crocker place. And so we're trying to look for a theme and then events that support that and encourage people to dress up and enjoy the different activities. So it's pretty easy to just order your tickets right online from YubaSutterArts.org. So.
Yeah, we're asking for a $15 donation. It's I think it's a fair price. We did a kind of a dry run well, it wasn't dry actually, but a couple of weeks ago we
Quite the opposite.
did the whole program. A little different thing, but oh my gosh.
Sorry.
So here's Alex Cena behind the scenes right now, but he led a rumba dance class, and you think, oh, how does that work? Well, you know what? It works. So get rid of your cynicism, sign in, log in, register, and be part of this. Abby ran an outrageous trivia contest.
So fun. I know. A little sneak preview of that. Well, okay, so we have Cupid's Kiss is the cocktail that we will be making. You will get a little recipe list so that you can buy all the ingredients, and we'll show you how to make that. It's a very elegant and tasty kind of a dessert drink that is like a chocolate-covered strawberry. I kid you not. Really yummy.
Stop. And I assume there are virgin versions of these if you're not imbibing currently or you're on a program.
Yeah, do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and still enjoy the flavor and the experience. And if you haven't seen Pam in action with her cocktail cam, it's
we have a fancy foot cam for Alex because you get right in there to do those steps.
And Leela, what's Leela going to be doing? Has she told you?
It's an art demo. I don't know how it's going to be themed to Cupid's Capers, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Last time she did one that had Baby Yoda in it, and it was adorable. And we'll have different artists. We'll share the spotlight with other people who can show you their art. You might have a chance to bid on the art and purchase it right there if it's made on the spot and you want to have it in your home or your collection. We were just talking about this. We're going, you know what? I'm sure people are getting kind of Zoom overload, but nobody's forgotten how to have fun. You come in and we do all of the preparation for you. You can show up any way that you want, fancy from the waist up, whatever.
That's right. Like for example, I won't show you.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. That's some real excitement now.
No, and it's like, and as you mentioned, Zoom fatigue. And not to get into a competitive thing about who spends the most time in front of a screen all week, because Pam, you probably win. But we all do a lot of it. But if you can, check your cynicism at the door and give this a try. It's fantastic. It was so much fun during our dress rehearsal, and I know this is going to be just totally outstanding, and off the charts as far as a fun way to spend an hour and a half. With us on
it's a 90-minute chunk that could go on. We're looking to integrate a disco dance party at the end.
Oh, even better.
So Tom had a question. I know Tom. Yeah.
No, Joe did. Joe had a question.
No, I was dancing.
Oh, I didn't have a question. I'm thrilled to hear this. I think this is fantastic, but you're explaining it all to me very well. And so I didn't have anything that popped off the top of my head. But Sarah Sealander has popped up and said I was ready to drive. Oh, so tell us what Sarah was up to, Pam. Our good friend Sarah.
Our guests. We have our guests come in, and she just enjoyed all the activities. So, it was... Yeah.
And like you said, you go from room to room to room, and it's like, it's like boom, boom. It's 15 minutes and an hour and a half are gone before you know it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We keep you hopping.
Plenty of interaction and conversation with some really fun people. So,
and you're kind of thrown into a group with maybe some new friends and some people that you have at your house. Or I'm trying to get my nieces. One is in Washington and one is in New Orleans. I'm getting them together so that we can all share time. That's
and you've got an activity. I mean, you could Zoom and just chit chat and all that, but we've done some of these too with the family over the last year, and wine tastings with 3 winemakers in South America from 3 different countries, or the cocktail one we did. What was it? The
Inspiration.
Yes, Ginspiration. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. I don't want it to be alcohol based, so we got a little bit of that here, but plenty of other things to do if you're a non-imbiber. So. Give it a try. That's Art Fix, Cupid's Capers, February 27th, 6:30 p.m. Mixologist Pam Novak will be there, along with a great other a cast of wonderful people. So,
Another fun thing, Pam.
Yeah.
Another fun thing from you.
We're
Just so
trying
great.
it out. You know what? We're trying it out.
Yeah, it's
So,
great. It's great.
in your
I
spare
love it.
time, I hear you've been doing a little bit of art.
So I started the year, thank you, David. And, it's kind of nice that I get pulled in because of that, because I just sort of wanted to try something. And there are a lot of art challenges out there. Artists are very creative about saying, oh, let's do a challenge that shows a tree, or let's do animals, or, there's Inktober that has different prompts. Every single day you draw to something. And I had never heard of, I think it's a portrait a day, 30 portraits in 30 days for January. And I'm not a real big New Year's resolution gal, but I thought, well, this is something I can get behind and try. And I'm always challenging myself in my drawing skills and my creativity skills and just making a habit. And I kind of, with my teaching my students, I say, do your art every day. And I guess you kind of have to walk the talk a little bit and say, I'm trying it. You can try it. You can do it too. So I committed to spending and every evening in my art room trying to do a portrait.
Yep.
And I got through January and did 30. Is it 30 or 30? 30. But I did 31. So the usual teacher overachiever in me decided to.
Well, you posted on social media. It was like became part of my daily routine. It's like, okay, where's Pam's portrait? I need that today to feel complete here.
Oh, thank you. Well,
look at these.
It's just such fun. I'm with you, David. I look forward to them every day. In fact, I still look forward to my Novak moment every morning.
What were you working from, Pam?
Oh, that's a good question. I first started just looking at my phone. I'm going, okay, how many pictures of things do I have? You can keep rolling with them, Alex. That's good. Thank you. And I would just try and be creative. Sometimes I would think, oh, I want to do something with metallic watercolor. I was thinking about White Russians, so we did the Big Lebowski here. And just something that I was involved with. These are mostly watercolor. But I had water soluble pencils and I had metallic watercolors. And this is an image pulled right off of the internet. I'm not going to lie here. It was just something I really liked the color on. So, and Sharpie, it's a combination of things. So there they are.
Is that all the whole collection?
That's the whole collection. That's actually 31. I looked at it going, why does it not come out right? So.
Such an ambitious project. So well
nice.
done.
I absolutely love that. That collective image. I want to have a gallery show with this concept. I've always loved this idea.
Oh yeah, and you and I both remember going to Sacramento. I think it was 50 and 50 days. They were just tiny, like 3x3 arts.
Or 10x10 was one that I saw. This idea of this collection, and initially it's overwhelming, but I think it makes the viewer take a minute and appreciate them collectively, but then take the time to look at each individual section and portrait. So
the middle row has 7 portraits. So there's your 31. I'm sorry, I'm doing the math.
Good job.
Tom, stop being OCD. Stop it.
I just had to count it out. Where's that 31st? Well,
there it is.
This is excellent, Pam.
Thank you. Well, some of them were friends or people. Some were me. I think there's like 5 in there that are me.
Really?
Self-portraits, or 4. I can't remember.
The first selfies. When did selfies start? The 14th century? No.
Maybe so.
Well, you saw that hieroglyphic where the 2 Neanderthals with their arm around each other, and looking at their thumbs. That goes back quite a ways. That's more of a story.
So, from your personal experience and just what you've observed and what you know to be true, talk about, and this leads into some things we're going to talk about a little later today too, but the whole the value of art during this pandemic period as generally as a therapeutic process. What's your take on that? A lot's I know been said and written. Is it true?
So I think maybe my first interest was even being an art therapist, was using art in both physical and mental and spiritual ways to help people. And when you ask teenagers what is art for, the first thing they say is just self-expression. They want to, well, I want to express myself. I want to get, anything out there that I'm thinking or feeling. And I think that just being able to bring something out, a lot of times the situation is so intense that you freeze. I didn't want to do art for the first several months in quarantine.
Yeah.
It was really challenging. And I talked to other people who have felt that way as well, saying that they didn't exactly know where to do or what to do or how to do it. And I see kids enjoying it, but also struggling with it, and not being able to express themselves or being too serious about it. So that's why I'm doing the rectangle phase right now. I'm into a new series, and I'm just watching watercolors kind of like bleed together and see what happens with them, because I want to be surprised, and maybe something will turn out good, and maybe it won't. It's like you have to be willing not to have it turn out good. And I ask kids, well, what do you think makes your artwork stronger? What makes you stronger? And sometimes they say failure. Failing makes you stronger. And I'm going, well,
Failing greatly, or yeah.
I can see that too. And I think that they have to be willing to try. And sometimes that's a hard thing to do.
Let's look at some of the rectangle series.
Yeah. Here's the rectangle series.
Is that what we're calling it now, officially or unofficially, or?
I don't know. I'm calling it exploration in watercolor.
Okay, all right. Is this a timed event? Is this a period of time constraint, or just whenever?
I started calling them COVID-1 and COVID-2 and COVID-3, and people kind of went, I wouldn't call anything COVID. I'm going, well, we're actually, in adversity comes expression of some sort. Yeah. And I watch a lot of art, and there's a thing now about spiritualism in art and seeing beyond the physical into something else. So, that's kind of what I'm doing here, is like you see all these little different things sort of pooling and swimming.
It's like a whole universe in each one, I'm seeing, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of a Rorschach. Is that how you say that?
And people, they see so many different things in here. And I have these metallic watercolors that I'm really fond of. And so I think of someone, and this one's for Leela because she loves rose gold, anything.
It's beautiful. Yeah, the rose gold is really striking to me, and I get a visceral response to that before I look at any of the images within each frame. I just, or each rectangle, I'm drawn into the colors. It's just so warm.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it is kind of like a tie-dye, or, it bleeds. My friend said bacon. It's like things up there. And,
bacon, you can paint bacon all day.
And so I just putter around and see what happens.
How large are these, Pam?
These are about postcard size. So we're looking at 5x7 or whatever. Oh, and so I am counting them up. Yeah, about like exactly. Good visual reference there, David. Perfect.
Thank you, David.
So
how long does one take?
I'm in there for about an hour fiddling around.
It's very intentional, yeah.
They're much quicker than that, but I have to decide, and I have to look at the colors, and I have to get all the watercolors wet, and I want it, and sometimes I'll do 2 or 3 and I'll only like one of them. But what I plan on doing is, so here's where this is going. And if you're listening now, then you'll be in the know. But they're postcard size. So on the anniversary of, it was Friday the 13th that we started closing everything down, I'm going to let you message me on Facebook, and I will send you an artwork to say, congratulations, you made it a year. You're thriving in captivity, and here's an artwork for you.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to send them out to people. Perfect. It's kind of like my intro into mail art.
I love it. Is that a thing? Is it mail art something we need to?
Oh, mail art is definitely a
mail
thing.
Art
is
Help me out. Tell me about it. MAIL art, I assume.
Oh, I got all excited.
There's gosh, I have to look up the guy, Ray something or other.
Yeah.
There's a guy who popularized sending art through the mail and
Randomly,
exchanging.
or
Hmm?
kind of randomly?
I think it was partly random.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of like collage and drawings and squiggles. And he was very like anti-establishment. It
Wow.
was often a protest.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I like that.
yeah. Thanks.
When and Joe might know something about this with all his COVID songs, but when you commit yourself to 31 days or 30 days of a project, were there days when it's like, oh, I don't want to, I don't want to go into that room. I don't want to pick this stuff up and put these colors together with what I don't want to do that. And then you had to force yourself to do it. Did you experience that in that month?
Yeah. Well, a couple of times. Yeah. There is that. You're going to come up against roadblocks for sure.
Yeah, those are the things for creative people. I think those are things to push through if you can, because generally if you push through them, 15 minutes later when you're in the process, you're in the process. You don't feel the
Mhm.
friction or the, oh, I don't want to do it, or all that kind of reluctance. You just kind of force yourself into it, then the project will carry you along.
Well, you're
So,
absolutely right. And I did develop a habit where it was fun to go have my art retreat every evening. And I liked that. And so that's kind of why I'm doing it in February. And it just became a habit. And it does become a habit. And it's like they say, if you want to exercise, go to sleep in your workout clothes.
yep,
Oh,
exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wake up and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I was gonna
understand
say,
that.
it sounds like people that, on an exercise fitness program, you got to push through because there are those days you don't want to go walk your 3 miles or whatever you're doing. So,
Oh, Ray Johnson.
Yep,
Ray
Johnson, 1943.
Yeah.
Really?
Nail art.
boy,
It's
I learn something every day. Thank you. This
The
is-
mid 50s, 1950s and
Yep.
stuff. So, yeah.
Modicos.
I love the idea of it. Okay.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the chalk art thing. It's like random.
Well, yeah.
Here's some art.
Yeah. Oh, I got my students kind of involved in it, like pen pals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it once with a younger class, like at the middle school, from the high school to the middle school, and they loved it. They had so much fun.
If there's
Pam,
anything
what were
we
you?
can do to help support that, let us know. I love it.
Oh, thank you. That'd be great.
Good invitation. Pam, was there something at the beginning of COVID, or was there something that you had scheduled maybe 6 months ahead? Did any of your projects get blocked or canceled because of the
Oh
pandemic?
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we had our student art show from Yuba City High School. Became virtual, and it was available. They did a great job of taking pictures of it and making that available for people to see. I had an art show in May, and that got canceled. Yeah, not a lot because
Wasn't David's trip? Weren't you guys planning?
We got
another trip?
the field trip in.
we got the field trip in.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That was January. Who knew, right? Here we are trundling off to LA to the Gettys, and what a gift.
I didn't to Italy. I have a standing event where I go teach art and help youngsters learn English in CC, and it was like that was canceled.
Yeah, Ireland and England was canceled for us, and
Yeah,
good.
a lot.
Good return on our deposits. So yeah, that was sad. But that I'm asking because the doors are going to open. Some of us have been vaccinated. Some of us are feeling like maybe we're hitting some collective consciousness that things are changing and there's some good times ahead. Do you have something in your mind? What's the first open air event or whatever you're planning?
Anything.
Do you think about that? Is there something you're just craving to do and you haven't been able to do it, but you're just as soon as the doors open, you're going to get on it?
Oh, you know what? I can't. Nothing comes to mind because everything comes to mind. Everything that we haven't done.
Yeah.
Going to the Crocker. We had a virtual Crocker field trip, and that was lovely. And my students still remember it. They still talk about it, thanks to YubaSutterArts&Culture. But what about you guys?
Yeah. Well, I was going to have a courtyard concert, but I just lost my partner. My friend Steve Miller is leaving town, and before we end the show today, I'd like to say a few words about this guy, and I'll try not to be too harsh. No,
No.
he's my very good friend Steve and my music partner, and so we want to save a little time for that. But
Sure.
yeah, I'm. That's you said it very well. It's nothing and everything. It's and so I just wondered if there was a specific event, specific thing you've got planned that you want to do at that time. Yeah.
No.
We got a half a year's worth planned. We at the Arts Council are hoping. We just had to make the assumption that July forward, we're hoping that we could be live again. So all of our usual second half of the year events, Harvest the Arts, Art and Oysters, will be live and in person again. So we'll see what happens between now and May, June, and keep going virtual, and then go live if we can. And we'll just have to wait and see. But like Pam, we're looking forward to all of those things again. Just some resumption of normal life.
Another slant in the same, just a little reverse thing here. Have you met people or had wider experiences because of Zooming? I mean, one of the things we've all talked about is like with my songwriter show, I had somebody from Tiffin, Ohio. We're going to have somebody from Townsend, Massachusetts down the road. Have you experienced this kind of inclusion to a wider network? To everybody can get on Facebook. Not everybody can get to the music, to the Crocker or to the YubaSutter Arts Gallery. So what about that? What about contacts or widening your base through Zoom?
Well, actually, yes. The international events that we sign up for, we always run into somebody who's new or different. And that's fun. It's nice to know that other people, it's a global thing, that other people are still interested in doing interesting classes, events, fun things, that sort of thing. Kara Bradlin and I are going to have a talk at the National Art Association conference in 2 weeks in March. We were hoping to go to Chicago, but we're going to do it virtually. So
too bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the fun of those kind of things, is that another town to take your show on the road, as it were. Yeah. And that I'm looking forward to, that aspect of more travel. The music scene in town, there's some bars starting to have live music and stuff again.
I did notice that. Yeah.
So it's picking back up. It is coming back.
They're like the little daffodils pushing their way up the dirt at the moment. They're starting
little pockets of art popping up here and there.
We're probably going to want to know some things about this conference that's going to be happening in a couple of weeks. So hopefully we can have you back and glean whatever you glean from.
Well, maybe you can live. Honestly, why not use the media? You could live stream yourself there if you find something interesting. Show us.
For attendees, so people bought conference tickets to talk to us. We had there are going to be 400 presenters from, I think it's March 4th to the 7th.
Wow! All from all over the nation.
Full report.
Yes, I will definitely report back.
And is this all over the nation? People are
I believe so. Yes. Well, because it's for art education around.
The nation. Yeah. Sweet.
Is it K through 12 or high school specific, or what age groups?
They do all. K through 12th, and then they have college people who are in college who've done college papers. They present their master's thesis. They present. They have a lot of discussion groups and panels, as well as hands-on workshops and stuff. I've signed up for a couple things that I'll get to see. I'm looking forward to.
Is that an annual conference you would usually go to?
I've gone occasionally. We have one in California, and I try and go to that. Which has been great. Our district supports that, but they don't really support you tooting off to Chicago.
Why not?
I know, right?
There's some great places, and I spent a lot of time there. But anyway. Oh, fantastic. Gee, Pam, we've only scratched the surface. We have so much to look forward to, but we're doggone it. We're making, as I like to say, we're making the best of a bad or at least challenging situation, right?
I hope people get on the website right now and sign up for Art Fix, because it's going to be fun.
We want to see it. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Cupid's Capers, February 27th, 6:30 p.m. Just go to YubaSutterArts.org and buy your tickets. Help us out a little bit. $15 a ticket. It's a pretty good deal, and Money back guarantee. How about that? I'll say it right here, live on air. If you're not fully satisfied, we'll refund your $15 without question.
There you go.
With
All
a
right.
couple of cans of
We're
soup.
gearing
thrown
up
in.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna.
Free can of tomato soup.
So that's gonna be fun too.
Gotta love that tomato
I'm
soup.
sorry, I cut you off, Pam. The last thing you said, I was cracking wise over. There was another additional thing you wanted to
No, I'm
mention.
just saying that Art Fix is going to be live. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
we all get to be
Love it.
live, we'll have
Yes.
Yeah,
even more.
like
So
this.
that's coupling with what one of the things you want to do when the world opens back up is Art Fix is going to be live.
Art Fix, yes.
And it's
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
everybody, not people who produce art, but people who enjoy art, people
Yeah.
who are curious about art. Yep, all of them. So,
Can
yeah,
you say
jump
one?
in.
Can you say one thing before you go, Pam? Sarah popped on, said she was there too. Can you just? I love Sarah's. I love her work, and I think she's been a huge influence, like you have been. And I know she was one of your influences. Is there just a brief something you'd like to say about Sarah? Just a tip
A
of the
brief
hat to Sarah.
something.
Yeah, I know. There's so much to say, but just
Brief. I have to be brief. Oh, no. Well, Sarah's been a wonderful mentor and friend, and she's a fabulous art teacher. But when she put on the Viking horns with the toilet paper decoration, my mind was blown.
Sarah
We knew we had a winner.
one
Yeah.
of our
Was that the
great
end of the
teachers.
show when she sings? No.
The Valkyrie, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, which brings up a good point. Feel free to, dress for the occasion. All fetishes welcome at Art Fix. So, come in costume.
Oh
Actually,
my.
I'm a shrink, David, and all
What?
fetishes welcome.
Oh,
Kind of open up
my.
some avenues where I believe I should be bringing cards with me to this event. You guy
I'm
there,
so
the guy
excited.
dressed up like the high heel. I want him to have my card. I just
Absolutely.
Do we need product placement for Tom Galvin?
yeah, I have a table there. With
Sponsorships
some
are
brochures.
available. I'll talk to you offline after the show.
Okay,
I like it.
I can
Pam,
help
it's
you.
such a pleasure always to have you on our show. And we
Thank
hope
you.
you'll
I
get
love
back.
to be here. This was a hoot.
You're doing great stuff in our community, and you're always welcome here.
Well, you
Yes,
guys
indeed.
have the art news because I always listen for that. That's
Well-
that's fabulous. Good to talk to you guys.
Okay,
Good
Thank
to
you,
see
Pam.
you.
take care.
Bye, Pam.
See you soon. Oh, God, that was too much
Well, that
fun.
was great.
She's
Well,
always
now what are we going to do?
just a couple of things. So
Yeah.
I get a text the other day from Steve Miller saying, well, actually, I get a call, and I had just finished with a real tough client. I was Saturday. I talked to a client virtual session. It was a tough one, and hopefully we got through it. But it was just, boy, that was a drain. It was a drain. So Steve calls me and says, moving out of town. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I'm retired. And I'm like, oh, okay. So Steve Miller is the first friend that I met here. I was introduced by my friend Kelly Rich Creek, who's my cousin-in-law, and Matt, her husband, anyway, whatever they are. So I knew them. They were family, but
Awesome.
she introduced me to Steve Miller. And this guy, we were playing games at Kelly's house or something, and I played some songs, and he had a guitar, and we clicked. We just clicked. That happens sometimes musically, where there's just what I'm talking about, Joe. There's just between two. There's an energy level. There's a style. There's something
Yeah,
stylistically
it's
like I get what
it's
you're
like
doing.
leveling up all of a sudden in a
Yeah,
game. The kids would understand that. Suddenly
yeah.
you've leveled up and you are better and so's the other person. And it's
It
fun.
felt like that to me, and he proves to have these brilliant songs. And he's the editor of the local paper, so he's introduced me to a lot of people. Frankly, he's thrown some spotlights into my music and what I've been trying to do, and so I just thought of him as this kind, generous guy with a sense of humor and extreme levels of talent. And then I find out he writes short stories. So it's another thing we've done is trade short stories back and forth and encourage each other to do that, which we both intend to continue to do and share our music and ideas. But I just think this town has been blessed with and honored to have a guy who's a straight shooter, who doesn't get really bellicose about one side or the other, who has oftentimes been criticized, as any news journalist is, because somebody doesn't like this that's said or that's said, but has risen above all that, just been a generous contributor through his involvement with Kiwanis and other active agencies. This is a super guy. I thought at my age, when I moved to a new town, to have met you guys, to have met the quality people I have met, was really a surprise to me. I thought, hey, we're going to go out there and know nobody, and we're old, so who cares about us? We're going to be, and then I meet Steve Miller, and subsequently I found all you people, and so it's very, very sad to me that he's leaving, but he's retiring and he's going on. And I asked, are you going to keep working at something? He said, I'm going to work creatively. I want to write stories, I want to write music, and I want to plant a garden. And so I just want to wish my good friend and a guy who's just contributed a great deal to this community, Steve Miller, and wish him our very best as he
Yeah.
goes along his journey.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. He's been a great friend of not just us, but arts and culture in general and the community, and very generous with space and inviting us to contribute a column starting a few months ago, and always willing to cover special events or special happenings and just fitting it in. I mean, hey, it's a business, we understand, but we're proud to have been one of many content providers to the Appeal Democrat for as long as Steve's been involved.
Yeah,
And
they sure have been partnering with us in terms of what's
incredible.
going on in the world of the arts.
No question. No question. So yes, he
Indeed.
will be missed.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it sounds like he's going back home, right, Tom?
it's
Yeah.
going to Beatrice, Nebraska. I wouldn't myself. If I went home, I'd be going to Toledo, Ohio, and who the hell would do that?
He misses. Hey, he misses the change of seasons and shoveling the snow and
Yeah,
And shoveling the
yeah.
snow and shoveling the snow. And
I had triple bypass 6 years ago, and shoveling the snow. I saw this documentary at some point early in my life where this guy's one of the dangers. So my dad, I think, it had cardio. That's why I'm watching this thing. And here's this guy, and they got him vividly shoved. Then he falls in the snow. He just does a head flop in the snow, and it stuck with me after I came out, and I felt like a truck had run over me, and then I'm getting better and better, and Gay's saying, "Let's get out of here. Let's do another. Let's do an
I didn't know that
adventure."
was. I didn't know that was part of the inspiration for your move. That's very interesting.
Shoveling snow was like, no more of that. So I'm going to try to talk to Steve one more time. Try to talk
Yeah.
some sense into him. But I think he's come back, and I think you're probably right. Something about the change of seasons. Old friend, lots of family, and a fertile place to do his work. Just a congenial place to do his work. So I wish him well. I left my friends in Ohio 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago, and I know some people were sad to see me go, and I was sad to leave. So now it's my turn to be sad and to see somebody else go and move on with their life. And
yeah,
so I know wherever he goes, he'll be a benefit to whoever he's with. So he and Chris and his wife, lovely wife Chris, who's a sweetheart as well and a great person in her own right. So
Well, and he's leaving a great, well-trained team behind. We were pleased to see that our friend Jake Abbott's going to take over as managing editor, and Ruby Larson, who we work with on a regular basis, will be assistant editor. So it's a great group of folks that are in place that know the landscape well. Will continue his good work. So
yes, and they are good people. Jake's going to do a great job. I'm sure both of them will do a great job. And big shoes to fill, though. And so hats off to Steve Miller.
Yep.
Or as he would say in his column, thumbs up.
Thumbs up, right.
we just did all of this at the same time. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like we practiced it or something.
Good stuff. Wow.
So, David, I know you had me over on Monday for your veterans project. Do you want to?
Yeah, this is, we're very proud of a lot of the work we do, all of the work we do. And one of our portfolios, if you will, are various veterans art projects we've been involved in. This one is called Virtual. It's a virtual pop-up community arts cafe featuring local veterans who, after their time in service, or during their time in service, got involved in some artistic process. And a lot of these veterans have become full-time professional artists, or the art or art forms they've adopted have kind of taken on a huge role in their lives. This program is being actually sponsored by the Mental Health Services Oversight and Accountability Commission of the state of California. And the Vet Art organization in San Diego we've worked with Steve Dilley for many years, came to us and said, well, do you want to do this? We said, yes, absolutely. Originally, it was going to be a real event where you'd be able to come out, meet veteran artists, who would be talking about, demonstrating, and displaying their art. Of course, we're still in lockdown, so we converted it to a virtual event. And as Joe said, he was the first of 6 veteran artists that we video recorded talking about and demonstrating their art. Now, in Joe's case, of course, that covers a lot of ground. He's your basic artist, Navy career, and then he comes out. Now he's an actor, musician, chalk artist, poet. Did I miss any? Early childhood educator, and just talking about those experiences in front of the video.
David, excuse me.
Yeah.
Uh, host. Host
Oh,
of the show.
host.
Host of the,
And-
I was going to say radio host,
You're right.
but he's a host too. I thought
That's
you
right.
were
I've
downplaying
hosted a number of events. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
You have dancing with.
Sorry to interrupt. But,
No, thanks
No
for.
worries.
I knew there was something I was missing, Tom. So truly,
Important piece. An important piece.
truly enjoyed video recording Joe. We have a professional coming in and helping us with this, Eric Jordan, and it'll all be put together. And so Joe will be sort of like what Pam was talking about, with where you're able to rotate from room to room for a different experience. So this will be live broadcast. Well, they're recorded. There'll be some live hosting by Steve Dilley and his team from San Diego. But then during the event, from 2 to 5 p.m., you'll be able to go from room to room to hear Joe talk about what he's done. We've got Brian Scholl talking about his nature photography. Like he said, he used to fly the fastest camera in the world, the SR-71. Now he does it on the ground, one at a time. But Aaron Burke's talking about portrait painting and his work to record Pearl Harbor survivors. Bert Johnson, great landscape painter and Western scenes. It's going to be just a fantastic program. Chris Thompson doing ceramics.
Right.
And so we did all those recordings this week. It's being put together.
Wow.
Totally free event for anybody. This isn't, we hope we can get some veterans to look and see different art processes that they can get involved with, like we were talking about earlier. Whether it's therapeutic or just for entertainment value. But I don't know, Joe, you're the lead practitioner. It's made a huge part of your life.
Yeah, it has been. When I was in the Navy, and you pointed out one of the things that I enjoy the most about working together with groups on artistic projects is that camaraderie, that sense of purpose. And then David, you said, well, isn't that what the Navy was like? And it's like, wow, I never realized that. But yeah, it was the same thing, that sense of purpose, that unity, camaraderie, all of those things are a part of almost every discipline of art. You connect with people on that level. Music is huge. He mentioned he and Steve connected musically first. And it is that really tight understanding of another person almost immediately as soon as they say, I do that too. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be a great program. We're so proud to be part of this. It's a statewide program. We're the second of 6 or 8 of these virtual pop-up arts cafes. The first one will be actually in Oceanside next week. So we're number 2, and again, very proud to be a part of this program. That'll, I think, get a lot of statewide recognition, bring more attention, more of a spotlight to Yuba Sutter and this incredible talent we have here. And of course, the background here is part of its Beale Air Force Base and huge part of the local economy and culture here. So again, it's for veterans, it's for active duty military, families, and anybody else. All of us civilians can tune in, I think, and have a really meaningful art experience hearing from these folks. A few veteran artists from San Diego will also be participating from Steve's group of contacts there and all the work he does. So
there's a certain element of the arts community reaching out to veteran artists, saying thank you for your service. Let's see what you got to show us what you've got. Let's share your stuff with us.
And we got a lot to show, believe me, starting with Joe.
Another big part of it, though, is we brushed on it earlier about art as therapy as opposed to art as self-expression. I think Pam Novak said that. And that is a big part of the veteran art thing. A lot of us, I've ran into the story over and over. They turn to an artistic expression to try and heal their soul. because some military tours have some harsh stuff you have to deal with, and you come out of it in need of some way to express yourself, or you know,
It's
Tom,
a
you would
way
probably
to.
you'd probably say this better.
Well, I think art provides a way for somebody who's been a victim of trauma to stop being re-traumatized by memory and finding a container to put that memory, that stark memory
Mm.
into, find a way to contain it and find a way to recognize that this memory now I'm having in this moment is triggering all kinds of internal stuff and I'm not breathing. So let me breathe and let me get recalibrated and put this memory into a box right now. And oftentimes the box can be a poem, a song, a work of art, just something to get it out of here that's affecting my central nervous system and get it out there and not be in this constant feedback loop of a traumatic memory recreating more trauma in this moment when the event is way past.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't know if I said it better, but I think trauma informed care, which I'm kind of a student of, ongoing, always includes, can you find something artistic? Can you find a means of expression that externalizes the internal crap
Yeah.
that keeps us locked in a place in the past that scared the bejesus out of us, and it continues to scare us, uh, even though the danger is past. So,
Mm.
yeah,
Indeed.
Yeah. Well
and
said.
yeah, thanks for your service, Joe. We don't say that to you. We don't say that to a lot of veterans, and sometimes we say it and it sounds really phony. But
Yeah.
at a certain point in your life, you gave up some time to go do something that was
Well,
probably a
and I
very big
was
challenge for a young man. And so,
I apologize for the dog express if you can hear them, but
Part of the, it's part of the atmosphere of the show. Homemade.
yeah,
that's right.
they're all excited about something outside. I'm not going to dash off and go see. Lori's taking care of it, but you know, it was funny because I was like a 4-year person in and out, and I thought about staying in and stuff, but it didn't work out. But yeah, it was such a huge formative part of my life, especially because I went in at 17, and
Wow.
they taught me work ethic and understanding uh, power. You know, the hierarchy of the boss and everybody below that and stuff, and how
Chain
that
of
works.
command. Yeah.
Yeah, chain of command. Yeah,
Man, yeah.
and it was a safe environment because the military justice is separate from civilian justice.
Hmm.
So all of the mistakes you make in the military stay there. When you're out, it's clean slate, unless it's something really serious. But even then, they'll send you to their prison.
Yeah. Right.
I didn't do anything like that. No.
God.
Yeah, I was going to wonder how
Cheryl?
many years would you have gotten if you
Yeah.
did. So.
Yep,
Hey, I
Sharon.
wonder. I wonder. I see that we're winding down, and do we have time for all the rest of the art news?
Just let me, yeah, let me just mention, just to wrap up on the Veterans Pop-Up Virtual Art Cafe. Um, Please register, even if you think you can only pop in for half an hour and kind of graze. We're getting, if you will, graded on the numbers we put up on the board, the registrants. So if you can't devote 3 hours, at least get registered. And to do that, it's a long thing. I won't read the link, but if you go to YubaSutterArts.org, find the virtual pop-up community arts cafe link and just register. It just takes a second to pop in your name. You're not going to be bombarded with emails, and get signed up so that you'll have that link so that on March 6th from 2 to 5 p.m. you can pop in, come and go as you please, and get a little taste of what what the art community has to offer in terms of these amazing artists if you don't know them, who also happen to be veterans. So that's a critical issue. And for any of this that we talk about, YubaSutterArts.org, our website's pretty robust. Lots of information. Let me just roll through real quickly just some of the things that are coming up the next couple of weeks before we meet again. What's our next date together? I've got it here somewhere. Is it March 7th? I think that's our next get together. We're going to be talking to Alex Mazzarell, who's the young woman who runs our YubaSutter Art and Culture applause program for kids, Applause Kids, youth theater director. She's directed a
She's
couple
great.
of
She's fun.
virtual
Yes, she is.
for us. Right now we've got live our online art auction is going on. Again, YubaSutterArts.org. Poetry Hour is coming up with Marcela Hernandez Castillo, March 3rd. Amazing young poet and memoirist. Tom, you've got spoken word open mic coming up March 4th.
Well, I wanted to highlight something happening Saturday, this next Saturday, is our All About Arts, or I'm sorry, Spotlight on Songwriters. Unless I've got that wrong. Do you have that down?
Hold on, I'm sorry. I should have started with the March card. I'm looking through my different cards here.
Yeah, this is still an
Uh,
event in February, I believe. It's next Saturday.
Virtual solo sessions, February 27th at 1 p.m. You're
And
absolutely right.
I'm very excited to have Rick Kirkpatrick, excellent singer-songwriter, has worked with the arts community in some things, but he's an old friend of mine from Arizona and from
Yeah,
Wyoming and now in California, and he's a beautiful songwriter. And so he's going to be my guest. I'm going to be interviewing him next Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Cool.
You'll be hearing a really masterful songwriter doing his songs and doing songs of people who inspired him. So it's going to be a good show. It'll be a
fantastic.
good show. Won't be a lot of me. It'll be all Rick. So tune in
Good.
for that. Tune in for that. It'll be good.
And I'm so sorry to jump around here. Monday, tomorrow, at 6 p.m., we're having our virtual annual Scholastic Art and Writing Regional Ceremony. About a 30-minute program just highlighting a lot of great local high school writers and artists who have won American Vision, American Voices Awards, Gold Key Awards. We'll have a couple of appearances by students who have reached this very high level of achievement in their writing or art. And then they go on for national adjudication and some pretty serious scholarship money. So Scholastic Art and Writing tomorrow at 6 p.m. All About the Arts coming up, like we said, March 7th. Artist Alchemy on March 9th. So
Who you got?
Poetry Square, just
Who do you have for Artist Alchemy, David? Sorry to interrupt.
Artist Alchemy on March 9th will be Susan Allen and friends from the Race Dialogues group.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, pretty exciting group that's doing a lot to open the conversation about race in a new and very constructive way, I think, with book readings, topic discussions, just some really, really good stuff. Actually, I should point out that next Tuesday, again, I'm hopping around, but it's Alex Cecina and Shantae Arroyo will be doing a whole program on Artist Alchemy as guest hosts about Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Incredibly
Okay.
popular game that deals with character development and storytelling, and it's got a lot of art aspects to it.
How cool is that?
Yeah, so tons and tons. Go to YubaSutterArts.org, learn all about it, and keep an eye on us. So
Art.
Well,
art,
we've
art,
come to the
we're
end.
gone today.
Art,
Art,
you
we're
ready?
gone today. Art, we're gone today.
all right, over and out. Great to
Love
see
you
you.
guys. See you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right, my friend.